Canada has a new Minister of Transportation, and it is Hamas Alghabra, the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood. No, just kidding, he died a while ago. It would be, but we have the next best thing, Omar Alghabra. So I'm going to show you this article, this is from 2015. This is an article, I believe, from Israel. And this article says, Trudeau's foreign minister secretary is pro-Hamas. He was. So this is an article about Omar Alghabra headed radical group that ran afoul of state Hamas support. He slammed brutal occupation and lauded Arafat. So we'll just read some of this article for a bit. And this is about Omar Alghabra, who is now a cabinet minister. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. Newly elected Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, or Justinder Trudinder, depending on what outfit he's wearing. I'll give credit to Ben Bankus for that joke. Raised eyebrows Wednesday when he was appointed Omar Alghabra's parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So he wasn't a minister yet, he was just parliamentary undersecretary for a while. He's one of the big movers and shakers in the Liberal government and also in all the wide systemic corruption in Canada as well. Alghabra, a Liberal MP representing Mississauga Centre, Mississauga, shocking that they would produce a Muslim Brotherhood candidate. I'm not shocked. Will get $16,600 raise from his normal salary, blah, blah, blah. Born in Saudi Arabia, Alghabra is the son of Syrian parents and arrived in Canada back in 1989 with at least some of his nuclear family still living in the Middle East. The appointment of the new parliamentary secretary is particularly concerning to some, given that Alghabra was previously the head of the radical Canadian Arab Federation between 2004 and 2005. So here's backing Hamas, comparing Israel to Nazis. CAF, just this August, lost an appeal to have its government funding reinstated after the Citizenship and Immigration Minister, Jason Kenney, back when he was cool when Stephen Harper was in charge. By the way, the Conservative Party is actually dead after Stephen Harper left. Back in 2009, cut $1 million in annual funding to the group because there are a bunch of insert blank here. Kenney provided the group's leadership, Kenney proved the group's leadership repeatedly expressed support for terrorist groups Hamas and Hezbollah. They did. Big fans of the terrorist groups Hamas and Hezbollah, the CAF. In cutting funding to Kenney's office noted CAF executives took part in Cairo conference together with Hamas and Hezbollah delegates, and likewise that the Hezbollah flag was flown at the CAF rally. The 2014 federal court ruling to uphold the suspension of funding included evidence showing CAF rallies compared Israel to Nazis and included a sign threatening to murder a Jewish child. Classic Palestinian human rights. The human rights of Palestinians to murder Jewish kids is the most fundamental right of all times. The group also sponsored an essay contest on the topic of ethnic cleansing in Israel, the only country where ethnic cleansing indicates that the Palestinian population increases dramatically. The population is actually growing there faster than it is anywhere else in the world. Worst ethnic cleansing ever, but who cares about facts when you got Omar Alghabra? Quote, I've been on public record disagreeing with the approach by the current administration of the Canadian Arab Federation, Alghabra claimed in August amid the decision to continue cutting the funding. This is only what he said after he got into office. We'll go into his past. But Kenney told the National Post that while Alghabra didn't lead the group in 2009, when he cut funding from it, the MP criticized my decision to cut it. So he was against cutting. I don't agree with the CAF and what they say, but with this. Okay. So Canadian journalist Ezra Levant warned in the Toronto Sun op-ed back in 2014 that Alghabra's close ties with Trudeau should be a warning sign. Omar Alghabra, the Saudi-born extremist who used to run the anti-Semitic Canadian Arab Federation, that group the lobby group that claims that Hamas and Hezbollah are not terrorist groups. Daniel in-point here. Hamas and Hezbollah, at the time that Omar Alghabra claimed they were not terrorist groups, in their charter, Hamas says that they want to hunt down and murder every Jew in the world, and leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, has said that he hopes every Jew in it moves to Israel so he doesn't have to hunt them down himself. Charming people, also death to America. Classic. Don't worry, they're just chanting death to America. Okay, normally in politics, Alghabra is someone you want to keep far away from, but Trudeau keeps Alghabra very close. He's been key to unlocking the anti-Israel vote and the anti-Semitic vote, the pro-Hamas vote, the pro-Sharia vote. We're going to get into Omar Alghabra's emphatic support of Sharia law soon. Alghabra has extreme views, wrote Levant in the op-ed in 2013. He was president of the Canadian Arab Federation in 2004. He denounced Canada's largest newspaper chain, calling for using the term terrorist to describe the Muslim terrorist group like the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade of Fatah. He said it was mere opinion, not fact. No, no, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, their goal is to murder all the Jews to liberate the Al-Aqsa Mosque from the evil of the Jews. Fun fact, the Al-Aqsa Mosque is currently under the jurisdiction of the Islamic Waqf of Jordan. So the Islamic Waqf controls the Al-Aqsa Mosque, or the Temple Mount, whatever you want to call it, but we have an Al-Aqsa's Martyrs Brigade, which its goal is to kill as many Jews as possible, including children, blowing up school buses, to liberate that mosque from the control of the Jews. And by Jews, they mean the Islamic Waqf of Jordan. Welcome to Muslim Brotherhood propaganda. Okay, then there's a whole other thing on Israel, Zionism, and him just being anti-Israel, but we don't need that. Okay. My favorite Omar Alghabra moment was in 2006. In 2006, in Ontario, Ontario used to be a province in a country that used to be called Canada, there was a debate over whether to institute Sharia law and allow Sharia courts. I said no. Omar Alghabra said yes. Now, due to works of Canadian patriots and Muslims like Raheel Raza, Tariq Fatah, Tahir Gora, and a bunch of other sort of Muslims, they sort of spearheaded the pushback, because political correctness was a thing, but because of these Muslims, or as you'll find out, they're called Islamophobes on the list I'm on, they actually got about 70% of the Muslims in Ontario voted no to Sharia law. And it was because they were able to mobilize the Muslim community and say, like, no, 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 we don't want that. We left that. We came here to Canada for a free, to be against Sharia law. It was because of them that the courts were stopped. Like, no one cared what all the whiteys had to say. It was them. So, great job to my homies there. But my favorite thing is Omar Alghabra, after Ontario voted to not have Sharia law, and after the Muslim community, the majority of them, voted against Sharia courts, he excoriated the Muslim community specifically for not voting in Sharia law. He was very upset with the Ontario Muslim community for not wanting to reinstitute Sharia, or not reinstitute, institute Sharia law and turn Ontario into a caliphate. He is pro-Sharia. He is pro-Hamas. He is pro-Hezbollah. He is anti-Israel. He is Muslim Brotherhood. And now he's in cabinet. Now he's in cabinet. So, welcome to Justin Trudeau's Canada, I guess. What else is there to say? Now, we all know I'm of the belief that the Conservative Party has their own Alghabra in insert name that can't be said because he's suing my family. But it's now there. Like, we have a cabinet minister in Canada that has openly supported terrorist groups, that has belittled and excoriated the Muslim community for not voting for Sharia law. We have someone in the Canadian cabinet who is pro-Sharia law openly, pro-terrorism openly. It's debatable. It's debatable. It's mere opinion in the Al-Aqsa Mosque Brigade. It's an opinion that they're not terrorists. Who knows? And I hate this. This is I always talk about how I hate things when people say, oh, things are so complicated. Kashmir is so complicated. Israel-Palestine is so complicated. This is so complicated. That's just a term used by sort of media elites to sort of, I think it's to sort of suppress knowledge and sort of concentrate power within a technocratic elite and a political elite. I really hate it. So, like, when people say, like, is it really that complicated? Like, if a group says about themselves that their goal is to murder as many Israeli citizens as possible to bring apart a caliphate, right? If they're openly fine with murdering children on a school bus, can we not call them terrorists? And this is where it's like, oh, it's so complicated. It's so complicated. Is murdering all the Jews wrong? I don't know. It's so complicated. And there's things where we don't really do it for, like Nazis are bad. Is that complicated? Should Arnold Schwarzenegger's father have joined the SS? No. Is that a complicated thing? No, he shouldn't have done that. And with Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was like Kristallnacht, the storming of the Capitol was like Kristallnacht. Arnold, you should know what Kristallnacht was, because your father was an actual Nazi.